Thursday, July 18th, and look at this. Look who's here. I mean, this isn't one of those like dual streams head in a box things. This is Larry Krueger. I can reach out and touch Larry Krueger, everybody.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
People are probably going, what's going on here? Larry, what'd you do? Why is Amy mad at you? Why'd she throw you out of the house? Why are you on Damon's couch?
Right, exactly. No, business. We got some business.
Oh, the business.
Business.
The business of Wake Up is at hand, and we will hopefully have something to announce to you. Larry and I got a little bit of a meeting later today, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk a little bit to you, say hello, thank you for watching, like and subscribe, both channels all the time. You know the deal, you know the rules. But we actually, during the slowest news week, maybe of the summer, thanks to Brandon Aiyuk, we got a little news. It's something we've talked about incessantly, and I've thought about it, right? So if the Niners do get this done, and there is a deal with Brandon Aiyuk before the Tuesday next week, let's call it before it bothers training camp, they will have removed themselves from any criticism whatsoever, and it'll be like this whole thing never happened. Now, if they don't, though, I don't think it's hindsight being 2020 to say that the 49ers have screwed this up. You can put a lot of blame on Team Aiyuk, but the 49ers have played a game of chicken with a chicken that they're not as familiar with as they thought they were.
Well, I mean, first of all, you can't make somebody sign a deal. And Aiyuk's people put it out there in February. I mean, they told Ian Rappaport in February that they wanted to see the whole thing resolve itself. So they wanted to see Justin Jefferson sign and every other receiver sign. That was their choice. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue that before that, the Niners could have been more proactive at some point along the line, but deadlines get these deals done, and takes two to tango. So the Niners can't just unilaterally sign this guy to an extension. He has to agree to the terms, and his side had a game plan to go to the mattresses and go for the biggest number.
I guess,
and there's no real way to counter it.
I guess that's where the game of chicken first misstep happens then for the 49ers, by not really gauging their, let's call him opponent in this situation. Aiyuk is the opponent that the Niners are playing against here. They should have listened to that agent say, we want to see the entire market set, and then made the determination he's going to be at $30 million. Less than $30 million is probably not going to happen. And in the world that we're about to enter, a Brock Purdy making $60 million world, we're just not willing to pay $30 million for any wide receiver. This guy might have been Randy Moss. We're not doing it for $30 million. We're just not we pay wide receiver $30 million a year type of team. And if they made that decision, the only other recourse they had was the hardball decision. And are they ready to really play hardball with Brandon Aiyuk? Do you think that they've told him 14 and a half, that's it, screw you?
Well, I mean, first of all, what kind of team are they? They were a team that was a Super Bowl team. And I think you would make, if I was Aiyuk's agent, I would make the argument that you're not a Super Bowl team. You're not beating Detroit. You're not beating Green Bay without Brandon Aiyuk. So that's the team that I would describe if I was Aiyuk's representative. As far as are the Niners, what was the question? Basically, are they mishandling the negotiation, or I don't think the Niners are mishandling the negotiation. I just think that basically Aiyuk wanted to go for the biggest amount of money, and once he decided to be patient, now he's gambling on himself. Now they can make him gamble further on himself for another year by making him play on the fifth-year option. It sounds like, since he doesn't have leverage right now, ultimate leverage they do, he's got to kind of bark as much as he can and then take the best deal that they offer.
Right.
But he's got to take what they offer. He can't unilaterally force them to pay him $32 million a year, especially this year. Now, if he wants to wait until he's ultimately free, he's not truly a free agent. I mean, they really own his rights. I mean, they own him as a football player for the next 3 years if they want.
If they really want to go hardball.
If they want.
But again, part of that hardball is the price point and them agreeing to it that they're balking at right now.
but they have a price. There's no urgency on this thing. If you're gonna go 5th year option, franchise tag, there's no urgency to do anything because we know what the 5th year option is. And, you can debate, would you want him on the franchise tag once you know next year what it is, or do you want to trade him, or do you want to try to negotiate a long-term deal then? But if he wants his deal now, he's going to have to probably bend a little bit, and doesn't seem like he's in that mode to bend at all.
JJ Rader wants to know, hey, did Amy get tired of all this Aiyuk just talking around the house, and is that why she kicked you out?
That's right. She's like, you know what? If you're going to talk, if I hear one more fantasy fucking trade that sends this, I'm going to lose it.
So, by the way, we do have this from Erwin saying, Larry and Damon would have gotten this deal done. They would have thrown in a couple like sandwiches, a little brisket from Pig in the Pickle. And Erwin, it's about that time in the show where we got to give it a little love to the sponsors. You know what? Since you're a special guest here today, why don't you tell everybody about how delicious Pig in a Pickle is?
Pig in a Pickle is an amazing name for a restaurant.
It really is.
And it's also really, really good food. So, yeah, if you like barbecue, check them out. They're in Corte Madera in Marin County. They're in Emeryville in the East Bay. Both locations open 7 days a week. So any day you want to go, they open at 11 a.m. They close at 8 p.m. But it's a real barbecue spot. So don't roll in at 7:45 thinking you're getting everything you want. They're probably going to run out of something. Because when it goes, it goes. But it's all amazing. The pulled pork, the barbecue chicken, the house-made sausages. The brisket is absolutely mouth-watering. They smoke it for 14 hours. Go check them out. Pig in a Pickle. And thank you to Pig in a Pickle for sponsoring the Krug Show.
And one of my favorite things about Pig in a Pickle, I've eaten there. Larry's brought me there. It's awesome. The guy who owns it, his name is Damon. So I'm pro all Damon succeeding. Truly, I really am. Speaking of pro success, my buddy Ike is having an awful lot of professional success being highlighted tomorrow with the grand opening of his Mission Rock store in the Visa building that is right there by the ballpark. And tomorrow is the official grand opening. I noticed that the Ike's logo, look at how perfectly it covers his actual face. Like there's his face. And then the logo, his face is right on his face. Look at that, because Ike is behind.
And what's bigger, the soul patch in the cartoon Ike or the soul patch
in the real Ike?
The real Ike. That's a big soul patch.
That should be
that's well manicured facial hair.
Yeah, it's like they got the greenskeeper at Augusta taking care of that thing.
Look at that.
Anyways, I can tell you that there needs to be a sandwich named Soul Patch. I think Larry, you just came up with something. Ike's grand opening is Friday at his 100th location, and when this show ends, I'm going to be hopping in the car and driving down there. So I'll see you about 1:00 tomorrow afternoon for lunch at Ike's, and then of course coming up on July 28th, it's PluceMania 4, the musical, happening at the Dubliner in West Portal. And Larry, I certainly hope that you can be there.
I know musical. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Well, no. So every PluceMania comes with like a bad movie tagline.
Oh, okay.
So it's the musical. My mother-in-law, God bless her, she watches these things. She's one of the 5 people in the world who actually watches these videos. Very nice of her. She asked, should I bring the karaoke machine? No, it's not a real musical. We're not going to actually be singing.
I mean, any excuse. I mean, I look at it as a win-win. There are very few things in life that are truly win-win, but you promoting your channel while getting my wife drunk in the process is just a tremendous double. It's the daily double.
So is Amy joining us at the Dubliner too?
Well, I mean, she's not from a lot of midweek drinking. Is this this
is Sunday,
Yeah.
Sunday, July 28th.
Yeah, you know what? I'll drag her out there.
All right,
and she can't just have one.
We won't make her do any half-drunk interviews.
Yeah, no more interviews.
No more woman on the street interviews.
No more interviews after. Oh wait, you've had 5 drinks? Let's do an interview.
It's a secret to great content. It really is.
It really is.
She was maybe like 2-3 drinks away from being the Haktua girl. I mean, so anyways, those are our sponsors. And again, thanks to Ike's, thanks to the Dubliner and West Portal, thanks to Pig and a Pickle.
Yes.
And we might have someone to be thanking soon for Wake Up. That is why Larry's over here. We got a little business meeting this afternoon, so keep an eye. Needless to say, we're really, really excited about this upcoming football season. And look, while you're here, man, let me thank you. Let me thank you in person one more time, because today, this channel, I woke up this morning, we have crossed 22,000 subscribers.
Nice.
We're at 22,000. You are quickly approaching 50.
Yeah.
And the power of these two channels together, when they come together for Wake Up, it's nothing short of the largest sports talk station in San Francisco. It really is. We have traction that is better than actual stations here trying to cover the exact same subjects that Larry and I cover. So game on. And again, you've helped me an awful lot get to this point where I can welcome you in like this is, my show and you're on it. Man, you have done an awful lot to welcome me into this new world. And 22,000. Here's the thing. I would be somewhere north of 10, but I wouldn't have gotten to 22 as fast without you helping me get there. So thanks very much.
I think you'd probably be more like 7,500. Seriously, you put out good content and the audience wins, right? We all have all this extra content to watch, and you can watch us cover the 49ers. You can watch anybody else cover the 49ers, the Warriors, the Giants, whatever. It's an awesome new world. Kev sent me a stat that was pretty amazing that I feel like I have to read to you guys.
Let's bring it up. Let's make it accurate.
This is the stat, and this is
by the way, you should see the size of Larry's iPhone font. It's big. It's big.
Yeah. Okay, this is based on the last report from Cumulus Media. YouTube is America's primary podcast destination right now. YouTube is the most utilized podcast listening platform in the U.S. 31% say it is the platform that they use the most, followed by Spotify, 21%, and Apple at 12%. So, anyway,
it's amazing.
A lot of people over on YouTube, and we're glad that you're here, and we're glad that we can bring content. And of course, training camp starts literally next week, and every single day I'll be there, getting sunburn. Got my camp cut today.
You did.
Look at that thing. It's tight.
No, you pulled up the sides on that yesterday.
I went white walls on that bad boy. I told him, I said, hey, attack me. It's camp time. So he went at me. So now, I got the camp haircut. I'm getting ready for the camp sunburn and peel, which comes,
in your entire life.
I love key and peel, and I burn and peel.
In your entire life, in the aging process, in the graying process, have you ever considered for a moment dyeing your hair?
No.
Me neither.
I will not dye.
I would not dye either. I just and
won't. Look at me and look at me good. I won't freeze my fat, and I won't dye my hair.
No Botox, no dye. What you see here is the real, true aging process.
Right.
We want to scare everyone. Think of it as a cautionary tale for America.
Right. Eat your vegetables and get your sleep, kids.
Yeah. Or you might have this in your future.
Don't live the sports talk radio up and downs and have the bags that I have under my eyes.
Oh, by the way, Larry, we are being tipped in euros today.
What's
Dimitrov dropping 10 euros, a nice gathering, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
For the nice gathering. Yes. Now 10 euro, what's the what's
the conversion rate on 10 euro?
Can somebody give us the that so we can know if should be happy, really happy, very happy, or just like kind of sort of happy?
Well, here's the thing.
What would you say 10 euro is? Is that $10? $15?
I bet you 10 euro. Is the euro stronger than the dollar right now? It might not be. I'm going to put the 10 euro around 8.50.
850.
850. I'm going to put it around 850. I have no idea. But look at this way, Larry. You are the bringer of the super chat. Jerry Rice on record saying that he thinks Aiyuk should just play this year and next year be better positioned. The 49ers would have to extend, trade, or franchise tag him, but now they don't have to do anything. So R. Lee, look, Jerry Rice. This is
Yeah, I mean he's given his thoughts. I mean, there is only one. All Aiyuk can do is make noise. He doesn't have a card to play. He doesn't have a move to make. But, and Mike Silver brought it up. I was driving in, I was listening a little bit to Silver and his kid, and he's like, anybody who says, hey, just tell him to play on the 5th-year option and be done with it, has never really covered football from inside the locker room. It's like, that's like one of those, it sounds good, but you know what I mean? Brandon Aiyuk is more than just like employee number 58. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a kind of a key guy. And if he's sitting there in the corner of the room, pissed and resentful, that's not good.
Don't really want that. But hey, thank you very much for the chat and the question. Oh, here's a guy that we see on Wake Up an awful lot. Bacon and eggs breakfast croissant saying Damon and Larry, the Aiyuk is a toilet bug. There we go. We do again. Here we are.
Toilet bug. What is it? Can we define a toilet bug?
When did toilet bug become like a popular diss? Oh, here's a question. How come Larry has to hold on to his mic? Jacob, this is how I display microphone dominance. If he were a better prepared broadcaster, he would have
Wait a second. I can solve this.
There you go.
There we go. How's that?
Not bad.
Hands free. Versatile. Look at this. Pluck the ball with my hands.
There you go. You got to give him the diamond. You got to hit that diamond pattern. There you go.
Hit me right in the mic.
Larry, the haircut is super fly. There you go.
Thank you, chef.
I will never not dye my hair. Lori, look at it this way. There is a standard of beauty that women place upon each other that they demand they meet, and that's the thing.
We're not judging you.
No man is out there pressuring another man. You better dye your hair to keep up with us. Where it feels like women do that.
All I would say, Lori, is, and this is just personal preference, but if you're going to dye your hair as a woman, make it a hair color. You know what I mean?
Right. Don't go pink.
Yeah, I can't go with the purple or
the purple hair,
the blue, or give it as long as it's an actual human being hair color.
So there is you parked in my driveway today. You see
that is not a code for anything.
No, I live in a very normal neighborhood. Right. We not that I'm here judging other neighbors, but this isn't the hate. It's
a very residential neighborhood.
This isn't Castro Street. This is a very residential neighborhood in San Francisco. One guy on our block has his hair dyed green, greener than your shirt.
Really?
And he has rocked this look. It's just, he is Johnny Green hair, and he is our age, and he's a guy with green hair like the Joker. And he stands out like a sore thumb in this neighborhood. Sure. He really does. And here's the thing. If you have green hair, you can't
go with it.
Avoid the why is your hair green questioning. Like you're asking for it. You kind of want me to ask about your hair, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of like the guy who wears bright yellow tennis shoes.
Right. I haven't asked him about his hair, but I've never talked to him. I'm not talking to the guy with green hair. Sorry.
Well, I mean, no, don't be afraid. Fear not. He could just be a Sacred Heart, cathedral.
Could be a school thing. He could be Michigan State guy.
If you got a guy with purple hair, maybe it's a Reardon thing.
Yeah, we are very close to Reardon. By the way, Carl, my helper, producer, content manager, marketing strategist, and beyond, Carl Buszczek, has done the official conversion and says that a $10 in euro is worth $10.90.
Look at that.
So the dollar is outperforming the euro.
Look at that.
There it is.
San Bruno Mike's got it too.
There it is. So
there it is.
There we go. Rock a new era.
You ask, and you shall receive from the audience. That's kind of what I love about the chat is that. And then there's questions like that from Chef A. What the fuck's a toilet bug?
It's a good question. We don't really know what it is either.
It's like one of those questions, though. I don't know if I want to know the answer to that one.
No, someone here says it's a piece of shit. A toilet bug. Now it makes a little sense. Like you say toilet bug, and I think like a beetle skittering across still water.
Either way, it's disgusting.
Thank you. So, you know,
G. Martinez, is there such a thing?
What, too much cleavage?
That's what he said.
Only in church. Only church. The cleavage. Cleavage is acceptable anywhere, but you're going to want to watch how much you bring to church with you.
We're turning this into a debate show.
Hey, Skip Bayless is hanging it up. We're better than him.
Cleavage makes that show go.
So here's the deal. There's a girl I used to date. Larry knows exactly who I'm already talking about because Larry met her. There's a girl I used to date who had ample bosom is the only way to describe it. And she would tell me, growing up, like, you know, going to church, that her mom used to be like, hey, church tits. You got to prepare your tits for church. Church tits. You need church tits because these things would garner an awful lot of attention, even in church. Maybe especially in church. I don't know. So, that's the only place where you got to watch the amount of cleavage. Otherwise,
except on your wedding day.
Well, if you're, if you're the McAfees, you want to go conservative, you can do that.
But some don't. Some let it all hang out.
I just saw, what's her name? The girl who used to stick her finger in Kanye West's butt. She was speaking at the Republican National Convention.
I'm really glad that I can't remember that.
Amber Rose is her name.
Oh, yes, I did see her.
If a rim job could actually be a human, it would be her. And she covered up for the Republican National Convention. So maybe there's she had a high neckline.
Yep.
So maybe that's church, political conventions.
And when you're covering sports, let's be honest, there's nobody who does sideline reporting that's got tons of cleavage going.
No, you're not really throwing it out there.
You're not throwing tons of cleavage on the sideline.
Remember when, what's the name of the really, really attractive woman who now hosts?
Amy Kruger?
Yes, Amy Kruger. The name of the woman who does Sunday Night Football. Striking black woman.
Maria Taylor.
I remember when she was doing like sideline of a Monday Night Football game and she showed up in like a leather jumpsuit. And there was some show criticized her and then he lost his job. He lost his job for saying, I think that's a touch unprofessional, and he got canceled for saying that.
Well, I mean, it's like we're in a period of time where it's like, let people do what they want to do. And I think it's viewed as like you're hating on them if you comment on it. And if you comment on it and you're ripping it, or if you're saying it's unprofessional, you're attacking her ability to make money. And in return, people attacked your ability to make money. In some ways, you could say he got what he deserved.
Right, but in the history of putting that on, every single woman who has ever put something like that on knows exactly what she's doing when she's putting it on.
Well, so either way, but that's a different discussion. His whole thing was he was trying to make it seem like she couldn't do her job as a professional because of how she was dressed. And that wasn't the case. And so there was a lot of pushback.
Right, there was. You know who I really appreciate? Joy Taylor. I was at the Barrett Sports Media right after I got laid off. Jason Barrett, the guy who hired me at 95.7 The Game, was like, I thought you were going to die on the air there. I can't believe you just got laid off. Come on down to USC. I'm doing a broadcasting sort of convention meetup. Just, come on out. So I did. I flew down to USC, and he had a whole bunch of speakers, really big speakers. Some big names came through there. Joy Taylor was one of them. And there was a person who asked Joy Taylor, when you put kind of like thirst trap photos out there, or your bikini photos from being on a beach, like out there, do you realize like what you're doing and how that could damage your career? She's like, well, in some people's eyes, it might. In some people's others' eyes, it won't. And she's like, yes, it's my body. It's my Instagram page. It's my career. I know exactly what I'm doing. And I appreciated her honesty. that, there she is leaning up against a railing like this.
I had never thought about it.
No.
Come on.
I'm wearing a bikini?
I never thought that I was attractive, but guess what? Others find me attractive.
I appreciate it.
I also have that same problem. I put out, and it's just, it's you put out bikini shots and then people come back with their comments.
They want to define you.
They want that to, exactly.
By your own bikini shot.
Right.
So
me, Gabe Kapler, and other men want to stand up and say, hey, enough is enough.
Did you see Pat McAfee basically say this list is why people hate ESPN? Did you see that soundbite?
No.
Okay, so here's one thing. I really don't get the McAfee phenomenon, but I'll give the guy this. He's got a big set of brass balls, maybe bigger than anybody on ESPN, because he will motherfuck ESPN while he is on their air. He will call out executives. He'll call out the station, the channel's bullshit, the network's bullshit. It's pretty cool.
Because he knows that, he's
untouchable.
I'm sure he's got outs where, he gets a big lump sum of cash. And he knows that if he's outlandish enough and if the show's entertaining enough, that there'll be another entity out there that will throw millions at him. So he's not worried about ESPN. And the fact that ESPN went to him because they couldn't create their own compelling content, so they had to go to somebody else who created their own compelling content and just buy it. I mean, I love the guy. I think the guy's incredible. And what does he really do? I mean, he's just a regular guy.
Guys being dudes.
He just drops some F-bombs and that's it. And he's, as a former player, he's got some access and he's lived the life, so he knows their process, so he can speak very definitively about what the players go through. And he's outspoken. He's not you feel like at least he's shooting straight with you.
He says this list is why people hate ESPN.
Well, what was the list?
And it made me look at the list, which I normally, so I kind of avoid lists. And you can go back and you can track my entire career from early days of radio to mid days of radio to afternoon drive to working alone to working with Ratto, working with Larry. We're not big list guys. I don't do a lot of let's read this list and feign outrage or praise it for how accurate it is. I think it's lazy, boring radio. And I always have. But I looked at the damn list.
Worked for Letterman.
It did well. His own top 10 list. That was funny. Yeah. First of all, the list is top 100 professional athletes of the century. At number 1, Michael Phelps.
No, come on.
Get out of it. Now,
stop.
Look, he's the most decorated Olympian of all time, but he's just swimming. Come on. Like right there. First of all, did you say your top 100 professional athletes? Is he even a professional athlete? Like, isn't the Olympics about amateurism? Sure, he's a professional because no one's paying anybody to swim in a league.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing amazing about Phelps is his caloric intake. It's and exactly how many laps he swims.
He's incredible. He was incredible.
He's a great swimmer.
Right.
But ESPN is supposed to, if we're talking about the greatest athletes, what makes somebody a top athlete? It's their impact on the culture. And are you telling me that Michael Phelps had more of an impact on the culture than any other athlete in the century?
I don't think so.
No.
Number 2 on the list.
How many kids are walking around going, I want to be Phelps. I need to be Phelps.
No one says the name Michael Phelps out loud unless it's an Olympic year, and we haven't said it during the last 2 Olympics either. So, come on. We haven't said Michael Phelps out loud since Beijing.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Rowdy Gaines to you.
At number 2, Serena Williams. Okay. No, here's the thing.
Tennis player?
It's a tennis player, but
Nobody
she is incredibly dominant. But the truth is, if we're talking about top 100 athletes, we are not being gender specific. And Serena Williams, at any point in time in her career, you put her on a court against a man, she might not even pick up a point.
Well, against that doesn't matter.
It's no, but that's it's not Serena Williams either.
To me, I'm not judging, women's athletes by how they would do against men. I mean, that to me,
This is top 100 professional athletes of all time. So you're judging them all directly against each other.
I know, but I'm just saying, as far as she shouldn't, because she can't beat a man, is not the reason she shouldn't be too. In my mind, the reason she shouldn't
be too is because she's a tennis player.
She's a tennis player.
She's a tennis player.
I don't care if that's. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Andre Agassi or any tennis player. No tennis player. Tennis is there's zero buzz for tennis.
None.
American sports fans. We could go with $100 bill into any major city in America and stand on a corner and make them list 5 of the top 10 tennis players in the world, men, and we would walk away with our 100 in our pocket because nobody could name that.
By the way, Chef A, I love a slow sports day. Larry and Damon, you guys, adorbs. We're adorbs. Okay.
I hate adorbs.
At number 3.
I mean, I'll come right out and say it.
At number 3, Messi. Now, okay, you're talking about a global game, and he seems to be the undisputed king of the global game.
He's the Gretzky of soccer today.
But I would never have a soccer player on top of this list. But that's me. I am soccer biased.
But soccer is, an incredibly popular sport globally.
Right.
And we discuss it in the prism of we're sitting here in the United States. And the MLS has never grown. The soccer is coming people. They were right, but soccer didn't come in the form of MLS. Really, it's the American viewership of the Premiership and La Liga and all the top, Bundesliga and all the top soccer leagues around the world are now have a bigger audience in America than the MLS. The MLS does not move the needle.
Right.
But Messi is such a star, and soccer is such a popular sport that I think he does belong in the top 5, and I have no problem with him at 3.
The guy that they have coming in at number 4 is one that I think a lot of people would have at number 1, and I wouldn't argue with it. I'm not saying that I'm his biggest fan, but at number 4, they have LeBron James. And when I think of careers lived in the spotlight, LeBron James has had an intense spotlight on him since he was a sophomore in high school. And now here he is with a still dominant NBA career as he's 40. It's one of the single great, LeBron James is living one of the greatest athletic lifetimes in the way that Christy Brinkley is living one of the single most beautiful lifetimes ever lived. From the time Christy Brinkley was a teenager to now, she was gorgeous. I mean, LeBron, since the time he was a teenager to now, has been one of the 3 best players on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think what makes LeBron special is he is the first guy I can think of that was, pubbed in as like the next guy who really then delivered. 100% was. I mean, there were incredible players like a Messi, but was Messi hailed as the greatest future soccer player at age 10?
He kind of was. He was identified very early.
Well, I'm sure identified, but as far as LeBron was on the cover of SI, the chosen one.
Right.
And yet he delivered. He delivered. We get all distracted by this Jordan LeBron conversation, but LeBron, to me, what separates him is that I can't think of another athlete that had this much pub coming into their sport and then delivered for this long a time with longevity and greatness. As Damon said, that's still going. So
and look,
I mean, maybe Tiger, but Tiger's career has been interrupted now by this car accident, and it's changed things a little bit. But Kobe was definitely, highly touted, but LeBron was like, he's going to be the guy. And then he's been the guy.
Right.
So I think He's very unique. He probably belongs on the top of this list.
In terms of
or
scrutiny.
probably two.
In terms of scrutiny and spotlight and how much we've dissected you down to the, thinnest vein in your body. Like, I mean, there's never been anyone more criticized, more, I think, just examined than LeBron James in his career. And he's basically passed it all with flying colors. To this day, his biggest misstep was the decision, to say you're going to Miami in the manner in which he did it. That still remains his biggest misstep. Everything else has basically been Skip Bayless is looking for something to talk about. Number 5 on the list, Brady. Sure. Tom Brady, absolutely, as the best player at the most important position in America's most important sport. You knew he was going to be up on this list. Number 6 is the reason why Serena's ranked too high.
I think Brady should be, maybe 1 or 2 on this list. I mean, Tom Brady and Michael Phelps. I mean, I don't care what city we're on. If Tom Brady's standing on one corner and Phelps is on another corner, Tom Brady's got 100 times more people standing there.
Tom Brady could be standing on Michael Phelps's front lawn, and he would be more famous than him. But the reason why, again, Serena, it's not just tennis, but they're going to have number 6 on the list is Roger Federer. How can you have Serena 2, the greatest professional athlete of all time, and Federer 6, when number 6 would absolutely have destroyed number 2 in straight up head-to-head competition? That's my problem with Serena. We had to get to Federer for me to really have a problem. At number 7, again, no! Simone Biles. Simone Biles is the 7th greatest, she's one of the greatest Olympians of all time, but greatest professional athletes of all time.
Professional? Aren't they supposed to be amateurs?
Again, there's a problem with this list, too. And there's also, look, say whatever you want and how great she is, and I hope she wins a lot more gold, and she could win more gold than anybody, blah, blah, blah. She also had to dip out of an Olympics because she caught the yips.
Well, I know nothing about that.
She did.
I'm happy to say. But, I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, and there's no baseball. There's not a single baseball player.
Not a single baseball player. Not Ohtani. Not no one.
Yeah, not one.
Not Barry Bonds.
Yeah, no baseball player has the impact of Simone Biles. I mean, come on.
At number 8, it's Tiger Woods. No one would argue with him being on the list.
You're telling me that Tiger should be it should probably go LeBron, Brady, Tiger, Messi. That's probably how it should go.
Number 9, Usain Bolt.
No way.
He's fast. I'll give him that. As fast and dominant a fast guy of all time, but he's never caught anything but a cold. So it can't be Usain Bolt. And at number 10, they've got Kobe Bryant. And I'm not here to say anything negative about Kobe Bryant, the man, the person, the career, but I'm going to tell you, he ain't more important to this century than Steph Curry was. Because not a single name that we have, not Phelps, not Williams, not Messi, not LeBron, not Brady, not Federer, Biles, Woods, Bolt, or Kobe, changed their sport globally. Steph Curry did. Steph Curry changed the way the game of basketball will be played going forward forever. He is the pivot line. It's BC and after. It's before Curry, there was a way the basketball was played. Steph Curry changed the game globally, which means his ranking on this list, which is number 14, is too low. I honestly think he could be in the top 5.
I mean, come on. I mean, he needs to be there. I would say take off Simone Biles, take off Bolt, move Tiger higher. Kobe belongs on the list. But you're right. Steph belongs in that list as well. And there's just no doubt about it. I mean, now I'm maybe more in favor of the ball sports, which is why I'm saying,
right.
Kick off Simone Biles and Usain Bolt. But I mean, where do we draw the line here? I mean, where's Joey Chestnut on this list? He's
right. That man dominates hot dogs like Tiger dominated any golf course.
Yeah, I mean, there's no driver on this list. I mean, there's probably some dominant driver. So it's like, I don't know. It's just,
Right, some F1 guy, and there's some Formula One dude.
where's Tony Hawk? I mean, you know Tony Hawk on here?
Tony Hawk.
I mean,
I love it.
pretty good skateboarder. I mean, it's like,
By the way, how about this? White Folks T says, my bong's name is Michael Phelps. That's pretty good.
what tennis is a real sport, Larry. Come on.
Yeah, there's another one.
I'm not saying tennis is not a real sport. I'm just saying it's not. We're talking, I think, since it's ESPN is kind of a mirror of the culture. Obviously, when they're putting Olympians on there, they're talking about impact on the culture. Well, come on. I mean, who's had, impact on the culture? I mean, there's not a lot of tennis. I mean, how many people have ever even been to a tennis match? Have you?
I have.
You have?
I have been to a tennis match.
It's rare. I mean, it's not. To me, it's too highfalutin for me. Maybe.
By the way, you want to talk about?
Where's Phil Mickelson? By the way,
I'm getting bored real fast. You get bored real fast at a tennis match.
What about? There's no WNBA players. What about Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark is not on this list.
She had 19 assists the other night.
I'm going to tell you right now, Caitlin Clark is more important to women's basketball
than Simone. Well, she's going to make an impact on women more than Simone Biles.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah, but that list sucks. And this is why Pat McAfee was like, this is why people hate ESPN, because they got all this glad handing
right
soccer, making Serena Williams number 2 of all time is like a very politically correct. Again, if Federer is 6 and Williams is 2, how can you have her above him when she couldn't take a point off him?
Well, I mean, I hate to say it. What about, there's all kinds of people right now who don't watch a minute of the WNBA who use their platform to talk about how much they love the WNBA.
Yeah.
The ratings show that the number of people that claim they're watching are not the number of people that are watching. So it's kind of, it's a sport that's there and exists because the NBA creates a lot of money, but there's a lot of people, it's very PC.
By the way,
ESPN's very PC. So it's like, hey, you know what? We got to have, I'm surprised they don't have a racehorse in there. We got to have representation.
Right. Top 100 professional athletes of the century. Maybe you can say he was an old man in the century. It's why I didn't make the list. But here's a good question from Dimitrov, who gave us a very nice European tip earlier. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali is no longer on the greatest list. He doesn't make it. He was alive this century. He was.
Is it 100 years from today, or is it since 2000?
I think that's what it meant. He meant since 2000, and that's how they tried to make it a little bit more
otherwise,
updated.
How about where's Ichiro?
Right.
That's another one. This guy was a dominating player in 2 professional leagues on 2 different continents.
Where's Jordan?
Yeah, where's Jordan?
Where's Jordan? Where's Evel Knievel? Oh no, he hasn't done anything this century.
But I don't know. If you're gonna put, here's the other one too. If you're gonna put Messi up there, and he's gonna be number 3 because of the incredible audience that soccer has globally, then wouldn't the second and third best soccer players probably be on this list as well?
Well, so they are.
Where's a Ronaldo?
They are in between Kobe and Curry. It's like 3 soccer players in a row.
Okay.
So
where's Curry?
Curry's at number 14 on this list,
14.
Which is just too low. Again, Black Rose, Larry, looking fresh.
Thank you.
Looking fresh, and you get the Hawaiian. Hey man.
Hey man, hang loose.
Hang loose, bro.
Hang loose. Or hook 'em horns. But I'm an A&M fan.
Oh, so horns down.
Horns down.
It's amazing how this will get you a penalty in an SEC game.
This will get you banned from the Niners. Kyle Shanahan presser. You just.
Oh my God.
Because he's a big Texas guy. And he compared Ricky Pearsall to himself.
Look, I really like good questions, and I want to say there's no such thing as bad questions. This is a terrible question. Larry, are you at Bruce's house?
No, this is not a house. This is a designated studio that's near his house.
Yeah, I rent out a huge studio for thousands of dollars every month in downtown San Francisco to just make it look like I'm doing it from my den. Where's Barry Sanders? Again, I don't think this was...
Where's Walter Payton?
Right. Where's Stone Cold Steve Austin? Again, it's not the top 100 of all time. It was of this century. And the list sucks. The list absolutely sucks. And this is why people hate ESPN, I guess. But thank you very, very much for all the comments and all the fun right there. A couple of other things to let you know, and then Larry and I got to get going because we got a meeting, again, some business to be done ahead of Wake Up. And we'll see if we don't have a new sponsor to be announcing for Wake Up coming up soon. The MLB trade deadline. 12 days away, Larry. Let me just ask, are you comfortable with Farhan presiding over this?
Yeah, I am. I mean, there's a lot of people who think that if there was a Bob Nightingale piece earlier this week that says that if Farhan doesn't make the playoffs, he's fired at the end of the year. I asked an owner of the Giants in March, I said, why did Farhan get a 3-year extension? And he's like, it was more for the optics so we could pursue free agents with a unified front, blah, blah, blah. If we don't make the playoffs based on what we spent, odds are he's out. And that was a Giants owner telling me that in March. So I guess that's been kind of the story all year is that Farhan could be out. So, the question is, do you allow him to trade Bryce Eldridge for a player knowing that he could potentially be out in 2 months? And, I think he's going to have to check with some people no matter what deals he makes. But that being said,
should they behave like buyers or sellers?
I think they got to do both. I think they've got to behave like they need to continue to improve their baseball team generally, but that they can't sell out to make the playoffs this year. Farhan, it's in his best interest to make the playoffs this year, obviously, but I think he'll be active. But what I would think the game plan should be is you have some really good young pitchers that are coming up through the system. Carson Whisenhunt is on the verge of the big leagues, and they've already shown some of the guys that they've promoted, and you also have veterans coming back to take rotation spots in, Alex Cobb and Robbie Ray. You've got Blake Snell. Blake Snell looks like he's primed for a huge second half.
His best outing was his last outing by far.
Right. And he's a second half pitcher historically.
Right.
Especially since he had such a bad first half, I kind of think that he might have a huge second half. So you've got
to me, like Snell is one of the guys that the Giants should listen to offers for.
No question. And then there's Matt Chapman, who could very well opt out at the end of the year. You have Casey Schmidt. The Yankees badly need a third baseman. They have Jason Dominguez, top young outfielder. So I think the long and the short of it is they ought to sell off a pitcher or two, including maybe Camilo Doval, because they may be able to get something really great for Camilo Doval. And he's starting to show some cracks. And I'm not sure if he's going to be their closer long term. So Camilo Doval, Blake Snell, Robbie Ray, Matt Chapman, Michael Conforto,
Yastrzemski, not that you get anything for him, but just to free up at bats.
Flores, Wade. I think you should listen on those guys. And then the other thing is, I think the Giants have to target. I think this is really important too. I think they have to target a hitter that has club control for a couple years, so that they guarantee that they don't get dragged around by the nose in free agency for Soto or Polar Bear, or whatever. They cannot, their fan base, literally, Damon, cannot endure another, they're getting a big hitter, and they didn't get him. He doesn't want to play here, and the park's not this, and the city, and the homeless, and the London Breeze. We can't live with, I cannot go through that. So how about this? Trade maybe a Bryce Eldridge, maybe Marco Luciano, maybe a couple other prospects. Go get somebody that has multiple years of control. Vlad Guerrero is not a free agent till the end of next year. Andrew Vaughn from the White Sox, Luis Robert. These guys have 2 years after 24. They're not free agents till 26. Go after a impact bat that instead of takes them. Then if you want to go sign a free agent and get Polar Bear, you got a better, I'll say this, and you know this is true. You got a way better chance of landing Soto or Alonso.
If you got someone already in the room.
If you traded for a big name bat that's already there to go with what you already have. And then I would try to hold the Yankees up. The Yankees are hemorrhaging right now. They need a second baseman. You have Tyro. They need a third baseman. You have Chapman.
That to me is where Chapman should go.
Yeah, I mean, if you can squeeze, Jason Dominguez out of the Yankees, he's a big, powerful.
They're not going to want to trade him.
They don't want to trade him. They've been hoarding him. But if I'm the Giants, I would say, hey, look, you won't do it just for Chapman. How about Chapman and Snell and your pick of an outfielder and your pick of a reliever? You know what I mean? What about we'll sweeten it? You've got 4 needs. We'll let you fill all 4 of your needs here, but we want Dominguez.
By the way, I am wearing my other side Anti-Fisher Baseball Club T-shirt that was sent to me by the Last Bar guys. Thanks very, very much for that. We are 12 days away from the Major League trading deadline, July 30th. Speaking of days away, here is your final countdown, and this is how we're ending the show today. We are 5 days away, Larry, from the start of 49ers training camp. I'm looking forward to being down there next year. So Larry and I are going to be doing stuff down there next week from training camp. And of course, we've got big wake-ups to roll out coming soon, hopefully with a new sponsor attached. And Wake Up is going to turn into the biggest morning show in the Bay Area this coming football season. And it will be because of you flocking to it. So thanks in advance for paying attention to Wake Up. We're 8 days from the start of the Summer Olympics in Paris. We are 16 days away from Jack's 5th birthday, which is big doings around here, Larry.
Yeah.
You remember your 5th birthday?
I don't remember it.
As far as Jack is concerned?
My dad took me to a bar. No, I don't. Yeah. No, I don't remember.
As far as Jack is concerned, he's getting his driver's license, he's losing his virginity, and he is going to be a man officially on the day of his 5th birthday. He thinks that this is a rite of passage, absolutely. So 16 days away from a 5th birthday party to be heard around the world. 23 days away from the Niners' first preseason game against Tennessee.
Wait a second. You can't just throw the 5th birthday without throwing some details. Is there a jumpy house? I mean, is there a pony? Is there going to be?
Do you see that red? Do you see that red cloth right there?
Is there going to be face paint? Is there going to be a donkey? I mean, what?
So it is a.
This is 2024. You got to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, you better have goodie bags. You better have a clown. You better.
When this show's over, I'm gonna show you how on top of this Jillian is. We wouldn't believe. We have boxes of stuff that will go into goodie bags. Dude, the goodie bag game. It's one of the biggest changes of whatever childhood you and I lived to whatever childhood kids are living right now. Goodie bags, don't just come with like a little sleeve of Oreos, some gummy bears, and maybe a cheap plastic toy. Like goodie bags these days are coming with full-on fucking action figures, video games, and it's like the little tube of it's a tube of bubbles you can blow up. That ain't enough anymore.
It's a trip to
Disneyland. Yeah. You better be able to pull Donald fucking Duck out of the goddamn goodie bag.
You better be able to make toys out of balloons. You better be able to you better have a balloon guy. You better have a comic. You better have a pony. You better have a jumpy house. I mean, I need popcorn machine. I need a yogurt maker out front. I mean, I need it all.
So again, we're 23 days away from the first preseason game against Tennessee and 35 days away from Ozzy's 3rd birthday. So we're doing a combined birthday party in the middle. And again, I'm going to show you the boxes of stuff that we have to load up goodie bags. We are hiring a face painter. Guess what a going rate of a face painter in your driveway for 2 hours costs what?
$100.
$350.
That's ridiculous.
She's good. I'll give her that much. She's really good.
She just takes a watch on the day of the thing, and it's just gonna be a can of spray paint,
right? like the Mad Max movie where they're just shooting chrome into the dude's mouth. Here you go, kid. No, so it's a dinosaur pirate dragon birthday. Dinosaur pirate dragon. So kids get to come in.
Dinosaur pirate dragon.
That's what Jack wants. A dinosaur pirate dragon
birthday
birthday
just say,
party.
Hey, choose one.
Nope. Couldn't just choose one. So that's what's coming.
I have a friend who lives in Iowa whose kid is just turned 7. He had a Brock Purdy birthday party.
Nice.
Brock Purdy birthday party.
Just a whole bunch of people walking around saying Grant Cohn doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
People wearing Purdy jerseys and sitting on tractors.
We are 53 days away from week 1, Monday Night Football against the New York Jets. 53 days. Larry, if I asked you to go stand in the corner on your head and hold your breath for 53 days, you could do it. It's going to be fast, man. Football. It's been forever since football's been here, but it's going to come back in no time at all.
Yeah, week 1, Niners and Jets. Aaron Rodgers, the return from the Achilles blowout, and all the rumors about Devontae and Aiyuk and the Jets wanting Devontae. Will the Niners and Jets and Raiders have completed a 3-way trade before Niners-Jets 53 days from now?
Thank you, Barry Ford. Little $10 going in the ganja jar for us. It's for you and Larry after the show. Oh, look, he's trying to. He's
Do not use it for a haircut.
So, what I got to give like Larry a $5? Do I have to? I owe Larry $5 now that you've given us 10.
Now we've got to stop by the bank. So now we've got to leave a little early. So bye, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, seriously, you were kind of traveling in this direction anyway, so thanks for stopping on by.
Yeah, seriously.
It was good to see you. Someone asked if Larry was a hologram. No, this is really Larry.
I'm here for the goodie bag. I'm part of the goodie bag inspection unit.
We're going to get Larry's face painted. You want to be a dragon, a pirate, or a dinosaur?
Excuse me. I'm going to be like Axel Foley from Beverly Hills Cop. I'd like to inject myself into the goodie bag and I'm the goodie bag police. Take a look at that.
Look at this. Barry's double dipping another 5 spot for Jack.
Look at that.
I'm going to give that to Jack. Yeah, seriously, out $350 for a face painter.
5 spot. I mean, Damon's kids are going to be losing teeth at a record rate. He's going to have to give a 5 spot per tooth.
So you
better start getting a tooth fund.
We got Jack on some, earning. Jack is interested in earning money.
UC Steve. So 53 more mock draft and Aiyuk trade shows from Larry.
Yes, Larry will be doing.
Thank you, UC.
Mock drafts. The mock draft for week 1. But look, it's incredible the price of frickin' face painting in the world that we live in.
It's unbelievable. It's the can you top this? Hey, we got face paint. Well, we got a clown. Oh, we got face paint, clown, a jumpy house. Oh, we got face paint, clown, a jumpy house, and we got a guy who lights himself on fire. Oh, your guy lights himself on fire. My guy dips himself in wax.
We got a sword swallower.
I got a guy who's going to dig himself out of a block of ice. I hired Yogi Kudu. He's going to put himself in a box. Okay, one thing though, I do want to hit before we get out of here.
38 years ago today, Aliens came out.
God.
38 years ago today, Aliens came out. Game over, man. Game over.
That was a hell of a movie.
One of the best sequels ever. Really is.
Oh, I mean, you kidding me? That's like Aliens 2?
It's the Godfather 2 of sci-fi movies. It really is. I mean, outside of Empire Strikes Back.
I was thinking Caddyshack 2.
No, not good. Not
the same. And not to be confused with Anchorman 2, which may have been the worst number 2.
The single worst sequel ever.
Of all time.
What are we ending on?
I was driving down and I'm listening to Silver on KMBR with his kid, and Silver loves this angle of this is the last dance for the Niners. And I just don't see it that way at all. I mean, first of all, last dance generally means you won a bunch of championships. They haven't won any.
Right.
So that's one. But I mean, that's kind of beside the point. I get his general point, which is he thinks that this is the last year of Brock Purdy's rookie deal. And he's going to go from making $985 to, $60 million.
It's going to be the single greatest year-to-year pay raise in the history of professional sports.
Yes. He's going to. It might be time for the Purdys to buy a luxury item somewhere in there. But yeah, he's going to make a ton of money. And we know it's a big jump. But
be like, you want to live in Atherton? That can happen now.
But you know what? There's a you got 53 guys on the roster. The 49ers have a 23-year-old quarterback. They've got a head coach who's one of the best head coaches in football. He's like 47 or something like that. I mean, he's not old. He's not going anywhere. They've got a really good D-line coach. He's a relatively young man. They've got a general manager who's not retiring anytime soon. They've got, a roster that probably, I counted, Damon, just driving down here, looking at just thinking of the 53-man roster. I counted at least 25 guys on this team that I would still consider young, getting better football players, including many players spread throughout the entirety of the roster. So they're a little thin of that dominant young player besides Bosa on the defensive front. That's the one area they're a little thin of a dominant player besides. It would be great if they had a young defensive tackle that was fantastic or another young end. But they've got 20 guys that are young ascending football players, including their quarterback, their head coach is young, their GM. I just don't see I know they want to get it done and there's a lot of urgency to get it done and to climb the top of the mountain. I get it. But let's just say it doesn't happen this year. I don't see the 49ers as being anything other than a premier NFC contender for the next, I would say, 7 to 10 years.
I think that's realistic. I'm a big fan of what I have to say about things, and I think I've said it the best. It's not their last shot; it's their last best shot. Because they'll never have a team, but they'll never have a team as robust with certified. This guy is a Pro Bowler in as many positions as they have right now. They won't be able to afford that team going forward, and the difference is going to have to be Shanahan and Purdy really are this 1-2 punch of football, ability to get it done every Sunday, that it makes up for the fact that the talent of the overall team has ticked down as the coach-quarterback combination ticks up. It isn't their last shot, but it is their last best shot. The world as they know it officially ends after this season. So it will be a different world because of Brock Purdy's contract. Payroll. Yeah.
Some people would say the best player on the team is Trent and he may retire. But I just don't. I look at the NFC and I'm looking at the NFC. I'm thinking.
By the way, Trent is outstanding. He's not the best player on this team. We need to stop.
He's the best player at his position.
He's very good. He's very good. But I thought
he's the best left tackle in the NFL.
Right, and he had more penalties in the Super Bowl than the entirety of the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. I know.
He's a great player.
He's great.
He's a great player.
A little overrated.
But I don't
just a little overrated.
I don't think that once he's gone, they can't win. There's no Trent, they can't win.
Right, they draft a tackle.
If they Christian McCaffrey's a great Niner, maybe one of the greatest players in the league. If they lost him for the year, early in the year, they still wouldn't be done. I look at the NFC and I look at the NFC. The NFC East is, I think Dallas took a step back. Washington's not there yet. Giants, no. Eagles are definitely a contender. So you got the Eagles in the NFC East.
Packers aren't going anywhere. Lions aren't going anywhere.
Lions in the NFC Central or North. You've got maybe Atlanta with Cousins in the NFC South.
Big maybe.
And then you've got maybe the Rams if their defense gets it going post-Donald in L.A. Maybe Seattle if everything broke right for them, if Mike McDonald was incredible. That's it. And then you get the Niners. So, it's a very thin conference. I don't see even – as long as the Niners have Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, and – this fan base with these expectations, I find it really hard to believe that they're not going to be a contender for the next decade.
By the way, not to end on a bad note, but Rob in the Bay, it's possible their last best shot was in February.
Damn you, Rob.
Let's hope you're wrong, Rob. We certainly don't want to tell that to anyone that we're trying to have on board as a sponsor of Wake Up 3 days a week. So we're ending on some positivity. Hey, thank you very much for watching today. It was special to have Larry drop on by. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Pound it out. There it goes. And we will be back at it. Friday morning? We got to wake up tomorrow morning. So we'll talk to you again on Friday, but we'll be in our own studio. You'll be out of here. You'll be back home. It'll be back to normal.
I could come out here, but I'd rather be Trent Baalke in my own studio.
He drove the Miata. It's in the driveway right now. I didn't think Larry is the Miata guy, but it's the truth. I mean, it's so small you can't even keep your golf clubs in the trunk, but it's perfect. It's where Larry kept all the hair that he had cut off him.
I love a Miata because, it's good for a date. You know what I mean? It's just me and her.
Unless your
her
boobs
and
are too
me.
big and you can't fit them and you're going to have to have some church tits.
It's a great car for a selfish son of a bitch because you don't have to drive anybody. And maybe Tate had some friends at soccer. They couldn't come with us. It was a convenient excuse.
Sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, they are gone.
I wouldn't ride that